Hi everyone, thanks for joining us. Anne's here this morning.
Hi, morning.
Okay, so you probably at this stage have a fair idea of what the drill goes like, and then we sort of change it, little bits of extra, little bits here and there, just so as it's not boring, you have something different to do. So today we're going to start our warm-up slow as usual, always slow. We're in the morning time as well, so that's a really good time to do yoga. It's your stiffest time, but it also means that you won't do yourself an injury. The usual, make sure to breathe. It's all about the breath, and it's all about taking it slow, and don't do anything that either feels uncomfortable or any pains or anything like that. Come out of a pose. If you feel that it's too difficult, come out of it and then go back into it and then come back out of it. You don't have to hold it for very long. It's not a competition. It's all about, it's just all about relaxing, and it's all about, connecting the mind, body, and and relaxing. Okay. So we're gonna start on all fours this morning, and we're gonna do our cat cow, and we're gonna introduce a few little leg ups as well. Okay, so down onto all fours. I think you can see Anne well. I can see you as well there, Anne. Yeah, we're all good. Okay, so with cat cow, the usual. So we're gonna make sure that legs are nice below the hips. We're all nice and lined. We try and always check our alignment. Our hands are planted flat into the ground, and shoulders above wrists. And so with cat cow, we're going to arch the body, and when we're arching our body up, we're going to make sure to breathe out. And when we go down into cow, we're going to breathe in and try and get as much breath out of the body as possible, so you're getting nice clean air in and all of the stale air out. Okay, so here we go. So we're going to start in cat, and we're going to go down. Breathe out. Breathe out. Nice big arch on the back. And move here. Move whatever feels good for the body. Move and let it feel good. Breathe out. Now we're going to cow. Breathe in. Breathe in. And out. And move now at your own pace. And we're just going to keep going here. And no strain on the neck or back or anything like that. Okay. So now we're going to bring our right leg up behind us, keep it nice and straight, keep the hips nice and flat, and raise the leg, and breathe with that. Flatten your heel as if your heel is going against a wall, so that means you're activating the legs and activating the glutes. Okay, so breathe here. And if you can, just while you're taking a breath, raise your leg just a tiny bit higher. Try and keep the back as flat as possible, hips as flat, don't stack the hips. Okay. And then we're going to bend the knee and bring it up towards the nose and breathe out. And then breathe in and bring it back out. And breathe out. So this is cat cow, but it's with the legs moving. And remember, drop the leg. If you're feeling too much pressure, drop the leg and take a break. Now onto the left leg. And we'll go up. Okay, so breathe in. Now hold it there for a moment and take a breath. Again, like the leg is flat on the wall, your foot is flat against the wall, and you're activating all the glute muscles and taking breaths. Move here if you feel comfortable. Whatever feels good. Okay, and we're going to bring the knee now. Oh, just before we do that, take another little breath and try and see, can you raise that leg a slight little bit higher? This is a smidgen. Okay, there we go. Nice and high. And breathe. Breathe. And bring the knee towards the nose and breathe out. And breathe in and up. And breathe out. Breathe in. And breathe out. Breathe in. Breathe out. Okay, so we're going to take our knees again underneath our hips, and this time we're going to go into our downward facing dog. And as we go into our downward facing dog, we want to breathe out, and up we go, and breathe out. Okay, so first downward facing dog of the day. You can feel the stiffness in the backs of the legs and maybe a bit of shakiness, and that's all good. That means the blood is going where it needs to go. Pedal those legs out. And breathe. Come on in, Jenny. Let's do a little bit of yoga here. Say hello to everyone.
Hello, everybody.
Now we're going to stop for a second and we're going to see, can we raise our right leg again. This is all great for the glutes. Anyone who goes walking or anything like that, raise the leg. There's a little bit of a challenge. We're not going to bring it now towards our nose because I think that'd be just cruel.
Anything possible.
See you later, ladies. See you later, Jenny. Okay, and then left leg up. Here we go. Okay, so now we're going to walk the feet towards the hands. Oh, actually, we'll go back first for a moment.
Sorry, right.
No, yeah, it gets a little bit slippy, yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, so actually, yeah, we might sit back onto our toes first. It's great to do a little bit of toe yoga. So this is actually a very uncomfortable position. It's not, we don't usually do it with our feet. You're stretching out the toes, you're sitting back and the toes are up and you're stretching them out, and you just, you come in and out of that because it can be quite painful on the feet. So you come down and back up and into it and breathe. You do, like, our feet is what take us from A to B. So sometimes we forget how important they are. So stretching out the toes is really good. Okay, and down we go again. And always breathing and breathing. It'll help relax you and help with those tight areas. Okay, so there we go. So while we're here and we'll come down, we'll take a little breath where we are. Okay, so we're going to take our hands over our head and we're going to take, so as we're going up, we're going to breathe in, and as we come down, we're going to breathe out. Okay, so a couple of breaths here. So breathe in, up, 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 and bring it down. Sorry, I know I'm a really loud breather. Okay, so breathe up, 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 and down. Breathe in and up, and down. Breathe in and up, and down. Okay, so we're going to go back into downward facing dog, and then we're going to take our feet to our hands. Okay, now back down to downward facing dog. Okay, now feet to hands. You can walk them up, you can jump them, you can do whatever you want. I'm going to walk them up. That's what I like. Okay, so here we go. Walk them up towards the hands. Okay, so we're going to look up, and then we're going to take our bodies up nice and slow, nice and slow. Okay, so here we go. Now we're in mountain pose. And mountain pose is where we look at our alignment. Our head is in front of us, parallel with the floor. Our shoulders are back, our heart space is out. Our tailbone is tucked down and under. So we don't pop out the bum and we don't fall our hips forward. We try and look at our alignment and just keep our hands down by our sides and activate the legs, feel strong in this pose. And you just take a couple of breaths, and then we'll do a little bit of movement, and then we'll start our sun salutations. Okay, so breathe in and out. Breathe in and out. Now we're going to move and breathe in. Bring the hands up in the air. Breathe in, up. And take them down in front of you, out. And breathe in. And out. Okay, so when we breathe in on this, we're going to move and we're going to hinge from the hips. So we're going to breathe in and up, and then we're going to fold from the hips, fold forward. Nice, nice, nice big fold. Bend those legs if you need to bend them. This is our first forward bend of the day. So we're going to just like stay in this for a moment. We're going to look at our feet as well. We want to make sure our toes are nice and spread apart, and that you have them planted into the floor and nice and activated, and that they're getting good exercise there. And we're going to do a little halfway lift and look up in front of us. There we go. And take a breath and back down. Okay, so we put our hands onto the floor, and we're going to take right leg back and then left leg back. Right leg back, left leg back. Okay, so nice plank here, nice straight plank. Shoulders over wrists, and we're going to breathe down and bring our chin to the floor and up into upward facing dog. Okay, so down we go. And breathe in and up. And breathe. Okay, we're going to breathe out and take it down into downward facing dog. Okay, there we go. Now, nice breaths here. You can start feeling the heat. Do you feel the heat getting going on you?
Getting going.
Now I really feel it now. So it's amazing how warm you can get with small movements and using your breath. It's yeah, incredible. Okay. So we're going to step the feet towards the hands again. There we go. And we're going to stay forward and take a breath. We're going to do our up halfway lift. Look in front of us, and then we're going to go back down again. Breathe out. And then we're going to roll the body nice and slow, coming up. Roll the body up, roll the body up. This is all to make sure that we don't do ourselves any injuries. There's no point in doing yoga if you're going to do yourself an injury, because it's not a competition. It's all about how the body feels, and you know, once you're getting the blood and the movement in and you're keeping good alignment, you can't do yourself an injury. Okay, so always look after yourself. Take care. Always look after the alignment on anything that you do, and slow down if you have to. You know, you don't have to keep the same paces. You can just stop and you can go back into it again. Okay, so we're going to take our hands up again, and I'm going to actually take off this because I'm getting warm. Okay, so here we go. So we're going to breathe in and up. Breathe in, up, and down. Hinge from the hips. Halfway lift. Look up in front of us, and down. Right leg back, left leg back. Back into plank. Here we go. Now we're going to take our chin to the floor, and we're going to breathe out and breathe up as we come up. Okay, breathe down, out, and breathe in as we come up. There we go. And take a breath. And then down into downward facing dog, and taking our few breaths. Okay, feet to hands. Here we go. Walk them forward. Feet to hands. And halfway lift. And down. Roll the body up. Nice and slow. Roll the body up. There we go. There we go. Now we're going to keep going, lads. Now that we're nice and warm, we're going to keep going. So this is where it gets just a little bit tougher. We're just at where we're going to keep the movement going. Breathe in and up. Up we go. Now hinge forward. Down we go. Halfway lift. Look up in front. Take a breath, back down. Hands to the floor, right and left leg back. Plank. Breathe down into the floor and breathe back up into upward facing dog. And down into downward facing dog. And feet to hands. Halfway lift and down. Okay, so roll the body up nice and slow. We're going to do the same again, but this time we're going to pop in a nice little warrior pose. We're going to bring the hands up for a moment. Leave them there, take a breath, and we're going to fold forward again. Breathe out. And halfway up, halfway lift. Take a breath, and down we go. Left and right leg back. Into plank, nice plank. Chin to floor. Breathe out and breathe up and in. There we go. Downward facing dog. Okay, so right leg. Swing your right leg in between the two hands. Now you can do it whatever way you want, whatever way feels good. We bring our leg forward and we breathe in and up. Here's our warrior one.
Okay,
And take a breath. And take a breath. There we go. I fell here one day, Anne, as well. I went slipping across the mat. Here we go, and we bring it down, and back down, and into chaturanga, and up into upward facing dog, down into downward facing dog, and this time we're going to bring the left leg between the two hands. Here we go, and up. Nice breath up. Warrior one. And down we go. Take the left leg back. We're into our plank again. Nice and slow, chin to the floor. And up. And downward facing dog. Okay. So the heat is really getting going now. Coming in and out of those warrior poses really generates a lot of heat, doesn't it, Anne?
Oh,
Does it?
okay. We're going to have to definitely decontaminate this now.
Okay, here we go. Hands to feet. Here we go. Okay, so we're going to stay down here for a moment. Look at our toes. Look at our alignment.
Quite happy to stay here all day.
Yeah, I know. We're going to do our halfway lift. Look up in front of us and back down. Then we're going to roll the body back up again. Here we go. Now we're going to bring the hands up. There we go. And we're going to go down again. Breathe out. Breathe in, halfway lift. Look up in front and back down. Hands to the floor, left and right leg back. Plank, down into chaturanga. There we go. And up into upward facing dog. And then down into downward facing dog. And right leg forward. We're going to do warrior one again. And bring up those hands. There we go. And take a breath. And down. There we go. And again, we're into plank. Down and up. Here we go. And downward facing dog. We're going to take the left leg between the two hands. Now, breathe in and up. And bring it down. Plank again. Chaturanga. And breathe in as you come up. And down into downward facing dog. So when we take our hands now, our feet to our hands, we're going to do one more round of this and then we're going to slow it down. And then of course, my favourite one, Shavasana, lying on the floor. Everyone's favourite. So when we're in downward facing dog, our neck and everything should be nice and loose, and it's nearly like a relaxing pose. I know it's still working every muscle, but because when you're doing so many movements, that when you get into this, it's kind of your opportunity to sort of take a little break, make sure that the neck and is nice and limp, but that the arms are working and your core is working. Okay, so feet to hands, here we go. And halfway lift. And back down. Okay, so we're looking at the toes. This sometimes can be a nice pose, can't it, Anne? You can really feel all the way down the legs, especially when you be going for walks and stuff like that, and the muscles be really tight. Okay, so we're going to slowly bring the body up again and breathe out. And bring the hands up overhead. Take a breath, and we're going to go again. Okay, so fold forward from the hips. And we're going to do our halfway lift, look up in front of us. And down we go. Okay, hands to floor, right and left leg back, into plank. Now down into chaturanga, and up into upward facing dog, and down into downward facing dog. We're going to take our right foot between the feet, or between the hands, so we can get that right, and breathe in and up. And take a breath, and take it back down. And back into plank, chaturanga, and breathe up. And down to downward facing dog. Take the left leg between the hands, and breathe in and up. Take a breath. And down. The usual, down into chaturanga, and back up. And into downward facing dog. So we're going to take the feet to hands again. And keep a nice forward fold. And we're going to go halfway up in front of us and down. Breathe out. And we're going to roll up the body. Now is a great time to do a balance pose. Okay, so we're nice and warmed up. Balance poses are fantastic for your mind, your connection, your balance. Not just balance on the mat. It's about it helps you balance. It helps with stress. It helps with maybe a lack of sleep, all of that kind of thing. So, and it gives you focus. So, for focusing on the mat, it means we can and we're focusing on the breath. It means we're clearing our mind. And if we clear our mind, then that alleviates stress and everything else that can come in on our daily lives. Okay, so we've done this before, and what we're going to do is we're going to plant the left leg firm into the ground, and it's like an airplane pose. We're going to take the body forward. So I'll do a little demonstration, and then we'll do it. So we're going to bring left leg onto right leg up. We're going to, now, because you can fall over in these poses, you try and maybe use the mat or fall and use props, use a chair, whatever you might use. But the idea is that it's just that you're trying to focus your mind. Okay, so left leg planted into the ground, right leg up. Don't stack the hips. Try and keep the hips nice and flat. Because if you stack the hips, there is a pose that you can do those things. But what we're looking to do is keep the hips, because then it's working different muscles, the glute muscles and going down the backs of the legs and everything. So it strengthens those muscles, strengthens the core, and gives us focus. Here we go. So breathe in. Okay, and breathe out. Breathe out. And it's okay to fall here, and breathe out. Okay, so leg back down to ground, there we go. And this time we're going to plant the right leg into the floor, and we're going to look forward on the same thing. Here we go. Breathe. And come up. Okay, so that's really, really good. Now we're going to take a little cushion to the ground. And here's where we kind of, this is where it gets nice. Okay, I'm just making a bit of space. Yeah, you can see Anne perfectly there.
It's okay.
Okay. Okay, so now you can feel that your heart rate is up a little bit. You know that you're after moving, and this is where we're sort of beginning to shut down. And we're just kind of, what you do is you put your legs in front of you, feel comfortable like that. If you don't feel comfortable like that, if your hips are a bit stiff, take them out in front of you. Wherever they feel comfortable. Bend them up if you want. You can just as long as you can take a few breaths and take a moment before we go into Shavasana. But what we try to concentrate on here when we're down on the ground is to make sure that our back is nice and straight, and that our head is over the shoulders. Heart space is nice and open. This can be an extremely challenging pose because we don't sit on the floor a whole pile. So initially when I would have had to move an awful lot. It's good, move if you need to move. So yeah, you just sort of try and feel the lightness but you also, there's no strain or stress or anything like that. You try to feel shoulders down, head is kind of on a string, and we're relaxed. Okay, so we're going to just take a couple of breaths here. And we're going to congratulate ourselves that we've gotten through that class. What do you reckon, Anne?
Yeah.
And what we're going to do now is just take just a few little small twists. Great for the insides. It's like, think of a little cloth wringing out the insides, cleaning you out. Make sure and have a glass of water afterwards and all that. So we're going to take the right hand onto the left knee and we're going to bring our body around. Don't push, just take it with a breath. Nice. This gets all the oxygen into the spine and right down. Back to center. Good. Right, so left hand to right knee. And we're going to turn again. And back to center. Okay, so this is where we go into Shavasana. So the usual, we're going to lie down. So what I want you to do, obviously we're going to come off camera, but make sure and stay on the ground for like 15 minutes, you know, and take that time for yourself and try to think of absolutely nothing. It's really difficult. You could be thinking, I have to do this, I have to do that, or, you know, you might have a worry.
Why Wile E. Coyote never caught the Roadrunner.
Why not?